Hello, I'm Caryn Gillen, your host and sometimes coach. And today we have some help coming in. We have Ashley from Systems Over Stress. And I want to hear how you introduce yourself, but I just want to my own reaction to your name is like, I know some people get so freaked out even by the word system. So I'm excited that you're even your name is bringing up a lot for me. So tell us who you are and why you do what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Ashley, and my company is called Systems Over Stress, and I help primarily coaches and online service providers create systems to alleviate stress in their business. A lot of times, the systems part does feel like the scary, heavy part, mostly because it's just the newest part. Like you get into coaching because you want to help people, not because you're super excited about the automations and the tech and the software that makes that part of your job easy to do.
Mhm.
But I've really found that anytime I've been stressed out in my business, by identifying that there's a systems issue, and really being able to figure out what that systems issue is and creating automations has been the reason why I've been able to scale and grow my business to what it is now. And so systems can mean I specifically work in a software called Airtable, so it can mean that, but it can also mean on Mondays I do this and Tuesdays I do that. So systems can mean so many different things.
And the thing I hear behind that is you are taking the invitation of stress to mean there's something externally that can support me, not there's something wrong with me inside.
Yes.
How'd you get
And
there?
I got there through the hard way, through an ADHD diagnosis in 2020. So before 2020, I just thought I was a broken person. I was messy. I was disorganized. It turns out I had inattentive ADHD. I didn't know what that was, but I would sleep a lot and I would lose things. And I was a straight A student. I was good at my work. I excelled in my professional life, but it felt like everything else in my life was really falling apart. And I actually was in the pandemic, I watched a TikTok and it was like, if you lose your keys, if you sleep a lot, you might have inattentive ADHD. And I had no idea what that was. And finally, when I got the diagnosis, I was like, this is just how your brain works. And
Mm,
there are tools and resources to support this. You're not broken. You just got to figure out the systems that are going to work for you because things like filling out a manual money Monday spreadsheet, filling in your numbers. I was like, I can never do that. And does that
yeah.
make me a bad business owner? I would, after a sales call, forget to send the proposal because of all of the steps that it took to do that. And then that's
Mhm.
making me lose thousands of dollars, making me feel like a bad business owner because I'm not following up with the clients and all of those things. And when I was able to zoom out and be like, what if you're not broken? What if there's a system that can support you in your brain? That's when everything unlocked for me and when I was able to see a lot more forward momentum and success in my business.
Okay. So in terms of a message to take home, I feel like that's all we need. We could wrap the podcast right now. It's
Been so great talking. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
this is what I'm always trying to get people to get is what if the business can be built around you and reflect who you are and your strengths, and it's not about burdening yourself to become something that you're not, because that would be the quote unquote good way to do it. So I love what you said.
Yeah, and I think that that's something even zooming out to business model and offers, figuring out that's a system as well. How you
Yep.
deliver your service is a system. I don't do well with high ticket, a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility. I found this sweet spot in a
Mm,
$2,500 group coaching program that feels really good to me. But even
love it.
identifying those parts in your business that feel heavy, what are those and how can you tweak them to we're building these businesses for ourselves. They should feel fulfilling and they should feel easy. There's hard parts, but overall feel fulfilling and easy to be in.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start from the ground up. Someone has just left their corporate job. They have started a coaching practice and they're like, oh my God, how do I track all this stuff? What do I do? Where do we start when we don't have anything?
Mhm.
And you want to do it the quote unquote right way.
So my biggest thing is I always like to say start with tools that can grow with you. A lot of the times people think, "Oh, it's just me. I don't have any clients yet. I can run all of my coaching notes out of my notes app or in the drafts of my Gmail." And while you can, you're gonna wish that you set your systems up the right way to grow with you, because hopefully that client tells another client, you start to grow, and then you have this like snowball effect of like, I have all these clients and my systems are not going to grow with me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I always like to make sure that we're setting up systems that can grow with you. And for me, I discovered Airtable like 6 years ago, and it totally changed my business. And what Airtable is it's essentially it's like a spreadsheet alternative. It's a database platform. And what happens a lot with some of the other softwares that coaches can spend, I do this, I'm guilty, shiny software syndrome. You're like, you're researching all of the different options. Do
Mm-hmm.
I do Dubsado or Honeybook? And you go on all these threads rabbit holes, and there's just so many options. And really, I have found through hundreds and hundreds of clients now that Airtable really works for everybody. It's a central source of truth for all of your clients. So having just a little record that has Ashley Rose, here's her start date, here's her end date, here's all of her client notes, here's every call that she's ever had, just having one place where everything lives, even just that is going to like alleviate so much stress and pressure in your business. So you're able to know who's getting offboarded when and like all of those things. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, is just having a very basic, we call it a client hub, just having a client hub in Airtable where all of your client data lives.
Okay. What's the what are some of the fun results of having that?
There's so many things. So one of the biggest fun result to me is there's no other way to track your client results in such like a robust way than using Airtable. So let's say a coach is helping their clients have 5K a month businesses. If you have all 10 clients in your client hub, and you can have forms as well, so we're tracking how much money that this person made in February and January and March, then you can zoom out and see my clients on average are making $6,000 months, or oh shoot, they're only making $2,000 months. So like my coaching needs to like I need to level up my coaching skills. So
Mm-hmm.
having everybody's results in one place. So
Yeah.
not only you can open up and see when they're about to re-sign with you, you can say, hey, we've had 7 calls over the course of our time together. Here's like down to the penny the results you've gotten. Let's keep this going. Like, and here's every client note. All of that stuff is really fun to see. I have clients who are celebrating like $500,000 in total collective client wins. So you get to celebrate your clients and their results in ways that you wouldn't have if you were just tracking Ashley's wins over in her Google Doc profile, and somebody else's. It would take a lot more time to kind of collate all that together. So that's a really fun one.
Yeah. How did you get how did you get there? Like, is this the way your brain has always worked? Did you decide I have to do this because ADHD is real, or like what happened?
So how it happened was, I mean, the hyper focus of ADHD is very real for me. In 2020, I started my own business, and I launched a little $400 course called Be Your Own COO, and it was for solopreneurs to. It was like inbox management and client management, like a lot of light stuff on a bunch of things. And Airtable was one of the templates I had in there. And the more I would listen to my clients and the more I would see their problems, I was like, oh, this software can solve all of the problems that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun thing that it can do is it does automations based on, let's say if somebody hasn't filled out their onboarding form, because normally some of us send that in like a Google form and we have to chase people down. With Airtable, it's very easy to set up automations right in it and say, hey, if Ashley joined my coaching offer and it's been 7 days and I don't see her onboarding form, send her an email checking in
Mm-hmm.
with her and making sure she gets that to me. And so all of those things were like it was a necessity. Like it was not a nice to have. It was like I wasn't doing that. I couldn't keep up with my clients. I also have depression. I was in bed sometimes, and like
Yeah.
my automations and Airtable was making sure my clients were taken care of even when I wasn't able to be like physically present.
Right. It just makes me think about something that I'm consistently saying to my clients, where you're going to learn what you need to know based on serving people. And like
Hmm.
you found that Airtable rose to the top. So, like everyone listening, I know that you're like worried about niching down or whatever, but the more specific you get, the like easier it gets to help people. It seems like
Yeah.
you've really been able to hone in on the thing. And how satisfying is it to have your business?
it feels like it feels so fulfilling that I get to help people. And I know you're a business coach for coaches, and like I love that my clients get their clients amazing results because of the systems and operations that they have set up in their business. Like a lot of my clients aren't tracking client results before they meet me. They know they get their clients results and they know they have wins, but they're not aren't able to like quantify it in that way.
Mhm.
And to be able to help them set up systems or even just serve more clients or come up with new offers because that offer is good to go. Like they're like, there's not a lot more to do in it. Like it's just humming along. Like they get them
Mhm.
the mental space and clarity to come up with more ways and offers to serve their clients. That part is just so fulfilling to me.
Yeah. Awesome. And do you do this work with people other than coaches, or is it like, no, I'm super specific to this?
I mostly work with coaches. It's again, it's playing around with that niche, right? So it was like people, it was like coaches with group programs. I'm like, well, actually, my systems work for your one-on-one offers as well. And then we had agency owners coming, and I'm like, actually, this works for agency owners too. And so now it's the same client hub. These Airtable systems really work for pretty much anyone who handles clients. So agencies, service providers, coaches. I find that coaches often need the most help because they're the most kind of create like they have like they need more system support, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that I talk to the most, but I have a lot of agency owners coming to me now too because they're growing and scaling and need those client profiles and records as their team starts to grow, so they make sure that their like data doesn't slip through the cracks.
Hmm. What does it actually look like when someone comes to work with you? I'm just wondering, like, do you have to know what you want to track, or do you help and like teach people what they could be tracking?
We help people and teach them what they could be tracking because a lot of the times too, it's like people come to us with program promises or offer promises that are pretty vague. And
Mhm.
sometimes, and that's okay. I know, especially with life coaches, they're like, well, this person is starting a podcast and this person wants to get a divorce. Like coaches can be really all over
Yeah.
the place and
Yeah.
figuring out like what is the through line with all of your clients. And like, even if you help them achieve a goal, like that can be your program promise. I help you achieve a big goal in 3 months, like, and it can
Hmm.
be any different type of goal. So we really work on how that's the first thing I have my clients do is like let's make sure you understand the result that you're promising in your offer because everything else we'll build your systems through that lens.
That right there is worth a lot because most people don't know how to sit down and take the time to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once they have it, I use my friend Jamar as a great example. He had a marketing membership that was make make content marketing 10% of your business operations time. I was like, that's a measurable, trackable thing.
Hmm.
And we could build tracking systems, but I was like, Jamar, you're a YouTube expert. Like it should be launch your YouTube channel in 90 days. And he was like, correct, it should be. And so when we went that way, it's like, oh, what we track, your curriculum, like the resources you're going to put in the offer is so different. So it's
Hmm.
really feeling good and excited about that result and making sure it's a result people want. Because I was like, Jamar, I don't want to join that other one. I want to join the YouTube one. Like, I don't care about making content 10%, even though it's technically measurable. It wasn't as like a desirable. And I think that
Yeah.
that's something that just sitting down and getting that clarity before you dive in and build systems is a great first step.
Yeah. I'm often saying that business happens at the rate of your decision making.
Hmm.
And I think there's a really cool thing that happens when you decide to implement systems is you have to make a bunch of those decisions.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, do you want to remind people that you're onboarding 7 days or 14 days? Or when somebody misses their payments, do you want to kick them out 2 days in or 14 days in? And
Mhm.
it's like it's fun to meet our clients and push, not push them, but like be like, all right, like let's make those decisions. And they end like there's just so much more clarity when you have those decisions.
Yeah. I'm curious, what are the sort of like the weirdest and wildest side effects of people working with you and having to go through this process?
I think one of the ones I see often is that they actually have more results than they think.
Mm.
Because when you're not tracking, you're typically waiting on your clients to message you in the Slack channel being like, "Yay, I hit my launch goal." And not every client is going to be like that. They're not
Mhm.
going to share with you all of the wins that they have. And so a lot of the times people think an offer isn't working or they're about to kill an offer because they're like, nobody's engaging, nobody likes this. I'm like, but if we re-engage them through tracking systems or through automated check-ins or things that you don't have the capacity to do, we might see that there's actually so much happening in this offer than you even realize. And so that's been a cool thing that I found.
Yeah. What are you tracking in your business that might surprise us?
We track everything. But one of the biggest things that we track that I think is fascinating to know is I love to know like right away why somebody bought from me and like what made them say yes. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I put at so when somebody joins one of my programs or joins anything, right away there's an Airtable form on the thank you page and it says, "Hey, quick question, why did you join this?"
Mm-hmm.
And the data that I get from that, people always fill it out because they're so excited to have something to do. They just made like a $2,500 investment. They want a task, but they don't want a
Yeah.
big onboarding form of homework of tell me your revenue. It's just like, hey, what are you excited to learn and why did you buy? And having that data, especially during a launch, helps me see like, okay, this is resonating. Like everybody's talking about the fact that this is going to save them time or like figuring out what those things are. So that's been something that um, I track. And something else that we track is we have a support ticketing system built in Airtable, but we track how long it takes me and my coaches to answer those tickets. And just like that type of data has heavily influenced how I hire
Mm-hmm.
the AI resources we're building. We built a support bot because I saw, okay, we're about to bring in 30 more clients. It's taking my co-coaches 9 hours a week to answer these. Like that's not scalable. And we built an AI bot to get that from 9 hours down to 1 hour. And like I wouldn't have known that data if I wasn't tracking those things. So we track so many things.
Yeah. But I think as like a homework takeaway for anybody listening, that question is such gold of like why
Yeah.
did you buy this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody start
Very
asking that.
so easy to just pop open a form. Could be Airtable, it could also be whatever form builder you currently use and just embed that on your thank you page and you'll be surprised at how much insight you get.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. What have I not asked you that people should probably hear?
I think the biggest thing is be wary of or just like take stock of all of those things in your business that you think just take you a couple of minutes, especially if you're just starting out, and think about all of those just a couple minute things, not only the time it takes, but the mental load
The
of task
procrastination
switching
time.
and procrastinating and all of that stuff. So all of those little things, one, it's like, okay, if you had double the client load, would that take double the time? Like those, there's just so many opportunities to automate and set up really solid foundation. So, yes, it only takes you a couple minutes, but what if those couple minutes could be spent doing a talking heads reel that you put up on Instagram and that brings you 5 more clients? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
manually creating a contract, you could create a thread that brings in 10 more leads. And so, like all of those little things, especially when you're starting out, I think really relying on tech and systems as your team member is huge. So
Mm-hmm.
you are really freed up to do the lead generation and the client delivery.
Yeah. Yeah. Tech can really be your first VA.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for people who are like, because what I find is when we get into usual stress, we don't notice it. We think of it as just being the norm and we get too used to it. So, what are the signs that we have stress that systems could support, but we aren't even aware of it?
One of the biggest things is I don't have time to fix this problem. It's like, I know this isn't working, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have time to find a solution. So
Mm-hmm.
I am just going to keep being stressed out, sending manual follow-up emails. It's like when you feel like you don't have the time to pause and be like, what is a better solution to this? That is a hamster wheel that is, ask me how I know, but it's
Yeah.
been like that can really that's like the biggest thing when people don't have the time to set up systems or just that's when I see the first like inklings of the burnout coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, what is the stress that you don't have to enjoy anymore?
one of the biggest things is really checking in on my struggling or like non-engaged clients because as my client roster has grown, we have 119 people in my group program. It's impossible to know where everybody's at, how everybody's going, but I never want what I really believe when you have the right systems and especially in coaching programs is you people get afraid of feeling like, oh, she grew too fast. I'm not taken care of anymore. I'm just a number in this
Mhm.
program. And what we have with our Airtable systems is I know like if somebody doesn't submit a support ticket in 30 days and they haven't come to a call and they haven't engaged in the program, an email gets sent saying, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Just want to check in. How are things going? And that at least gives me the calmness of like Mike, they don't have to respond to that, but we're sending out something so they can open the door and they can re-engage. And we literally say
Yeah.
in the email, like, number one is, hey, no worries, just not really looking to not diving into the program right now. Or two is like, I'm really stressed out and I don't know how to ask you for help. Or three is like, I'm not like we give them options to make it as easy as possible to engage with us. And so having that makes it so when I am working on my next big launch or when I am, making my next YouTube video, I'm not feeling guilty that I'm not checking in with all of my clients because my systems are doing it for me. So I
Yeah.
really believe like when you have systems, like you are taking care of your clients at the highest capacity that you can.
Yeah. So you can actually build care into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because a lot of the times people think automation is like robotic
Right.
and it's the opposite for me. It's like we are creating care checkpoints through this, so we don't have to do it because I couldn't it couldn't even do it when there's five clients because I
Right.
like my brain like wouldn't think of it.
Right.
And so thinking like at 119, it's nice to have those systems.
Yeah. I love that. What do you have to do? Is there anything that like you have to be willing to let yourself off the hook about when you're implementing systems like this?
Yeah, it's knowing that your systems are always going to be evolving. So I think a lot of the times, almost every time on a sales call, I'll say in our intake form, it's what's working with your systems right now, and people say nothing. And I hop on the call. I'm like, hey, so you have a business. It is working. Your
Hmm.
clients aren't like beating down your door, sending you chargebacks. Like you have systems and your systems are working. They can be improved upon. They can always be further automated, but there's always this guilt that it's not automated enough or it's not as like
Yeah.
up to this high standard. And I feel like that as well sometimes, but what we have in our business with our clients, we have like a systems priority plan. So there's like 9 different kind of systems buckets that we have. And we just want to make sure that that red one that's like not working at all, like it's like things are breaking, like people aren't getting served, like let's focus on that system first before we focus on the thing that like is working but isn't as automated as it could be. Like we want to get that to a green rating eventually, but it's really just accepting that like some systems might not be working right now. Some are working really well, and just knowing it's a spectrum and that not it's just a growing, evolving process is
Yeah.
the thing you just have to accept.
Yep. I love that. Okay. So if a coach is like, okay, I'm ready. I need to do this. What are first next steps?
First next steps would be honestly learn like I have been in this software. I'm in Airtable every day for 5 years. Airtable does not pay me. I get a $10 Airtable credit. So I'm not working for them, but really it is the best solution for client management that I have found. And I have a ton of free like resources and walkthroughs on my YouTube channel just showing you like how it's the missing piece to it replaces your spreadsheets, it replaces your Google Forms, it replaces your Notion, and just going and checking and seeing, especially when we're talking about systems on a podcast, it's hard to, you can hear it and be curious
Hmm.
about it, but actually seeing what it looks like in process, seeing what a client profile could look like, all of that, it clicks a lot more. So that's where I would go is check out my YouTube channel. It's at Systems Over Stress and just see the walkthroughs that are available and all of that because it really can see like and think about how can this make my life easier? How can this help me like eliminate a lot of my mental load and help me serve my clients better? That's where you should start.
Good idea. Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, I have a feeling that most people can't even tell what's possible until they see it.
Yeah. And
myself
even
included.
before you think about the systems, like we were talking about, think about your offer and the results that you have. And a quick exercise that anybody can do if you're driving or if you're listening to the podcast on the go, maybe not if you're driving, but I tell my clients like close your eyes and think about your sales page and think about all of the wins that you want to have on there. So Ashley was able to leave her job in 45 days and like go on sabbatical, and like Michelle was able to leave her job in 12 days. And it's like, okay, if that's what you want all of your wins to see, then that is going to give us a lot of clarity in the systems we could build as well, and what your program
Yeah.
and your offer promise should look like. So even just starting to think about what are the like wall of results that I want, we need systems to get you those results, but think knowing what you want and getting clear on that is something that you can do even before you start to dive into the system side of it.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a really fun. I think that could also help people really clarify and improve on their niche too, or their
Hmm.
specialty. Yeah.
Yeah, and doing an audit of your sales page, because sometimes I look at them, I'm like, there's no through line to these results. Like they just like working with you, or this person like got a dog, and this person launched a podcast. It's like, but where is the through line? And we can see
Mhm.
we can figure that out together.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we'll put a link to your YouTube channel in the show notes for sure. Is there anything else people should know about you or what you're up to?
Threads and Instagram are the best place to hang out. And I think the biggest thing, these types of conversations can make you feel like you're not doing enough. And
Mhm.
just you are doing enough. This is just something that is going to help you do more, get more off your plate. So they can feel like, oh, this is another thing. Like I don't have Airtable yet, so I'm not a good business owner. And just I always like to make sure that it's the next step, it's the next phase in up leveling your business and your systems and your operations, but you're doing great.
Yeah,
And
there's
this
a
is
lot
just
to
here to
do.
take, yeah, there's a lot to do, and this is the next thing to consider.
Yeah, I like that. And it can be neutral.
Yeah,
Bring this kind of
exactly.
thing in. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Thanks for describing it. I think I want to go look at some of the things on your YouTube just to see
Yeah,
what's possible because I think, if your brain doesn't work this way, then you have no idea what you could do.
exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was so good to have Ashley here and to talk about systems. I recently had a client talk to me about her desire to have more systems in her business and want more support with that. And I had to honestly say, like, look, I am a lot of things and I can reflect a lot of things back to you and I can coach you on so many things and consult on so many more. But if what you really want are systems, like that's not me. And I think there are those of us with this coaching specialty and those of us with like Ashley's specialty of systems, and they're super helpful. And we need to lean into like what we're really desiring in terms of organization for our business and how we track all the things. And so if you're interested in systems, like, I mean, Airtable's pretty nice. So head on over to our YouTube channel, give that a listen. And if you know a coach who this can be helpful for, I hope you'll share it with them today. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And we'll catch you next week on Coach Business.